Good morning. Today we are starting Unit 3. With Unit 3, we are starting with something that we're going to use throughout math. Okay, it's just good basic skills to know. That's why it's a PO. So this is identifying whether a number is divisible by 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, and or 10. So when we're talking about that simplifying fractions, this is really going to help us simplify both the numerator and denominator. What number can they both be simplified by? So this will help us with that. It is important that you write these rules down as I write them down. You will want these on a help sheet for the test. This will make your life much easier to learn these rules. Okay? So, if a number is divisible by 2, if the number is even. So we know it is divisible by 2 if the number is even. What are my even numbers? Emma? 4, 6, 8. Yeah. So I always go with 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. So if you look at that ones place, if the number ends with a 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8, we know it's going to be divisible by a 2. To know if it's divisible by 3 is if the sum of the number's digits is divisible by 3. So what that means is if we look at a number like 15, the sum of its digits, 15 has a 1 and a 5. 1 plus 5 is 6. Is 6 divisible by 3? Yes. 3 times 2. All right. 15 is one that we know. Let's look at a bigger one. 369. Is that divisible by 3? Well, let's add up our digits. 3 plus 6 is 9. 9 plus 9 is 18. I know 18 is divisible by 3. Right? That's in my multiplication table. In my assignment notebook. If I know my math facts, I know 3 times 6 is 18. Okay, 369 is not going to be in your table. So you add up all of the digits to see if that's divisible by 3. If my number is divisible by 4, that would be if the number can be divided by 2 twice. Half of the number is even. So if I look at a number like 74, now I want to know if that can be divided by 4. Half of 74 is 37. Is 37 divisible by 2? Mm-mm. So 74 is not divisible by 4. If I look at a number like 104, if I divide 104 by 2, I get 52. 52 is even. So 104 is divisible by 4. Okay. Number 5, anybody know the rule if it's divisible by 5? Emma? if the number ends in a 5 or 0, it is divisible by 5. Now for the 6, it's if the number is divisible by 2 and 3. Both the 2 and the 3 can go into it. So it's divisible by 2 and 3. So 2 and 3 can go into our number. So you check for the 2 and the 3. They both have to go into it in order for it to be divisible by 6. So if I have 54, I know it's an even number, so it's divisible by 2. 5 plus 4 is 9, so it's divisible by 3. So I know 54 is divisible by 6. We look at that 104. I know it's divisible by 2, right? Because it's an even number. Is it divisible by 3? 1 plus 0 is 1, plus 4 is 5. 5 is not divisible by 3. So this number cannot be divisible by 6 because it's not divisible by 3. It has to be divisible by both 2 and 3. 9 is if the sum of the numbers digits is divisible by 9. So just like when we looked at the 3. When we looked at the 3, we added up the digits to see if it was divisible by 3. Same thing for the 9. Add up all the digits and see if it's divisible by 9. So if we have 459, is that divisible by 9? 4 plus 5 is 9, 9 plus 9 is 18. 18 is divisible by 9, so it is divisible by 9. Okay, so you just have to add up all the digits and see if we can divide it by the 9. Now, 10's even easier than the 5. What's the rule for being divisible by 10? Lexi? If the number ends in the 0. So you know it's going to be divisible by 10 if you see a 0 in that ones place. So you need to have all of these rules written down. You will want to be putting this on a help sheet because it will help you on the test. Okay? We want to learn these rules. It will help us as we go through math. So let's see how we use these rules. Let's get a little practice in. I'm going to scroll up. Determine whether the number is divisible by 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, and or 10. List all that apply. So what I do is I write all the numbers down. 5, 6, 5, and 10. Okay. I'm going to decide which of these numbers it's divisible by. I'm going to go through every single number. I'm going to look at the rule and see if that number works for it. If it doesn't work, I'm going to cross it off. And now I'm going to see what I'm left with in the end. Let's put the 9 and 10 over here. So let's start with 2. Is 42 divisible by 2? I see some heads nodding. Caden, why are you nodding your head?
Because 2 times
2 is a what kind of number?
an even number.
It's an even number, so we know it's divisible by 2, so I'm going to circle it. Is 42 divisible by 3? Emma?
Yes, because you can add 4 and 2 is
4 plus 2 is 6. 6 is divisible by 3. So I'm going to circle my 3. Is 42 divisible by 4? Look at our rule. If the number can be divided by 2 twice. So if I divide 42 by 2, what do I get? Bridget? 21. Is 21 divisible by 2? No, it's an odd number. So 4 is not going to 42, because I can only divide it by 2 one time. Is 42 divisible by 5? Why not, James?
Because it's an odd number.
Because it doesn't end in a 5 or 0, right? Is 42 divisible by 6? Sophie?
Yes.
Why?
Because 6
Without using your math facts, use the rule. What's the rule for being divisible by 6? If 2 and 3 can go into it. If it's divisible by that 2 and 3, and it is. So I know it's going to be divisible by 6 because it's divisible by 2 and divisible by 3. Is it divisible by 9? Thoughts? Adeline shaking your head no. Why? If you add them up, 4 plus 2 is 6. We can't divide 6 by 9 and get a whole number. Is it divisible by 10? Why not, Emma? It doesn't end in a 0. So I only circled 3 numbers. So it is only divisible by 2, 3, and 6. So I crossed off the numbers it's not divisible by. I circled the ones that it is. And then I'm going to write out in my answer the numbers that it's divisible by. We're going to do this for every single number. You're going to write 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. Because, not 8, sorry. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10. Under every number. What happens if we don't write out all of the numbers under the number? What might happen? Adam? Yeah, why would we get it wrong? You don't check all of them. It's really easy to miss some to check. So that's why I say always write them all out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10. Write them all out so you check every single number. Is it divisible by 2? Is it divisible by 3? Write them down, cross them off if they're not divisible, but it helps you stay organized so you don't miss any. I'm telling you this from experience. I've taught this lesson many times. Kids always forget ones when they don't stay organized. So I'm telling you, stay organized. Write out every number. Check the divisibility rule for each one. Let's do one more together. 360, is it divisible by 2? Nolan, why?
Because it's even.
Because it's an even number. Is it divisible by 3? Maddie?
Yes, because if you add all of them, it's divisible.
3 plus 6 is 9, plus 0 is still 9. 9 is divisible by 3. Is it divisible by 4? To be divisible by 4, you have to divide it by 2 twice. So 360 divided by 2 would be what? So we're not sure we're going to do our math. 360 divided by 2. 2 goes into 3 one time. 3 minus 2 is 1. I'm going to bring down my 6. 2 goes into 16 8 times. That's 0. I'm going to break down a 0. 2 goes into 0 0 times. Is 180 an even number? It is. So is 360 divisible by 4?
Yes.
It is. Is it divisible by 5? I see 3 people who know. Is it divisible by 5, Charlie? 360. Is it divisible by 5?
Yes.
How do you know?
Does it end with a 0?
It ends with a 0. Is 360 divided by divisible by 6? Nolan P?
Yes.
How do you know?
Because you can divide 360 by 2.
You can divide 2 and the 3 into it, so it's divisible by 6. Is it divisible by 9? Hudson?
Yeah.
How do you know?
Because if you add up all the numbers, it equals 9.
3 plus 6 plus 0 equals 9. 9 is divisible by 9. Is it divisible by 10? Ellen? How do you know? It ends in a 0. So 360 is divisible by all of them. Does it make sense what we need to do? On the bottom, you need to figure it out right. 2 numbers that are divisible by 2, 3, and 6. So find 2 numbers that you can divide by the 2, 3, and 6. Write 2 numbers that are divisible by 3 and 5. Write a number that is divisible by 2, 3, and 9. Okay, so you pick numbers. James?
Can you use a calculator for the reading?
This one you will not be able to use a calculator on the test because we want to make sure that you know the rules. Not, ooh, 360 divided by 4, oh, yep, it goes into it. No, we want to make sure you know the rules. We know the calculator knows the rules, so we are not using a calculator on this one because we want to make sure you know the divisibility rules. Okay, good question. When you are finished, because this is a 1-pager, but it does take time. You're not going to rush. We want to make sure we can do the divisibility rules. When you finish, if there's still class time, you can work on your mysteries of the rosary that we need to have done by Thursday. You can work on your shield of faith that we need by Friday. You can work on your math packet that's due next week. You can work on your Khan Academy that's due on Thursday. Lots to be working on. If you are watching this at home, I hope you are well, and I hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful day.